Quarterly business reviews. The learning objectives for this course: QBRs, or quarterly business reviews, setting an agenda for QBR, who should participate in a QBR, functions of a successful QBR, QBR mistakes to avoid, benefits of QBRs, and the key takeaways. Let's start by looking at what a quarterly business review is. A QBR, or quarterly business review, is a discussion meeting that you have with your customers on a quarterly basis. The focal point of this meeting is not just to check what goals you have met and what's outstanding. Instead, it revolves around the client's business and what can be done to escalate its growth. The sole aim of a QBR is to understand the potential of the business, the opportunities and markets it can tap into, and the long-term goals that can be achieved. Setting an agenda for a QBR is very important, as it will help you in many ways, especially when you come to the point of documenting it in a report format. If you go into a QBR meeting without a concrete set of goals and a pathway to achieve them, you'll only end up wasting everyone's time. It will not add value to your client's business, nor will it help you showcase your services in a better light. Setting an agenda is really essential for a QBR meeting. Now, who should participate in a QBR meeting? While your customer success managers likely will be responsible for facilitating these meetings, QBRs are typically most effective when executives from both sides, yours and your customers, are present. That way, both companies can better assess how they fit into each other's business plans and objectives. As Lincoln Murphy notes, QBRs will likely be reserved for only the top segment of your customer base. These are the customers who need and deserve the special attention from you and from your company. Some of the functions of a successful QBR. First, keep a record of who's attending and their respective roles in the meeting. Next, make a list of prerequisites, the reports that should be created, the metrics that need to be pulled out, and the main goals that will be discussed in the meeting. Also, decide upon the format of the customer success QBR and the tools that you plan on using in that process. Then, choose the PowerPoint templates, structure, and elements that will be used to create the QBR presentation. Set the agenda as discussed above. There are some QBR mistakes that you should try to avoid. Let's talk about some of these no-nos. If possible, steer clear of in-depth discussions about anything negative. Highlight successes rather than dwelling on any shortcomings. That said, you should give the customer the opportunity to provide honest feedback. That way, you'll have the opportunity to assure the customer that you can solve any issues or problems they have experienced. Resist going on the defensive if the customer brings up any issues or challenges. Again, focus on the positives and turn conversations about problems into conversations about solutions. Don't get into the weeds with specific support or product issues if you can help it. This isn't the best forum for that. It's okay to preface your meeting by promising to handle those issues without taking up time in the executive's days. Along those same lines, don't let the meeting go longer than an hour. Respect your customer's time. And finally, don't leave the meeting without scheduling the next QBR. This shows the customer you intend to follow through on everything discussed and that you'll deliver results by the time you meet again. Now, what are some of the benefits of QBRs? First, they foster relationships between your executives and your company's executives. your customers' executives. They allow you the opportunity to highlight the ROI of your product, thus reinforcing your value to the customer. QBRs, when done right, also open up honest discussions around your customers' overall health and what you can do to maintain and improve that status. They eliminate the question of whether your customer will renew once the contract or subscription expires. And they demonstrate to your customer that you're serious about providing ROI and that you expect to do so within a 90-day period. So, what are some of the key takeaways here? Well, a quarterly business review, or QBR, is a discussion meeting that you have with your customers on a quarterly basis. When done correctly, QBRs strengthen the partnership between your business and your customer's business. These business reviews are important for both of you, the client and the provider. Reviewing the client's business can create a trust between the two organizations. Ultimately, make sure you set the agenda right in order to gain a better understanding of your client's business objectives. Now let's take a quiz to test your knowledge. Quarterly business review is a meeting for doing what? A, discussing upcoming projects. B, marketing the new services or products. C, talking about your client's business. Or D, none of the above. C, it's a time to talk about your client's business. Which of the following is important for a successful QBR? A, an employee. B, paperwork. C, marketing strategy. Or D, setting an agenda. Definitely D, setting an agenda is critically important for a successful QBR. Choose the right statement from the following. A, tell the customer to not bring up any issues or challenges. B, get defensive if the customer brings up any issues or challenges. C, resist going on the defensive if the customer brings up any issues or challenges. Or D, don't resist going on the defensive if the customer brings up any issues or challenges. The correct answer is C, resist going on the defensive if the customer brings up any issues or challenges. QBRs should likely be reserved for which section of the customer base? The top, the middle, the lower, or all of the above? The answer is the top. You want to save these important meetings for your top customers. In general, the meeting should not go longer than how long? 30 minutes, 60 minutes, 75 minutes, or 90 minutes. 60 minutes is a good length of time to ensure that you can discuss everything you need to cover, but that you won't waste anyone's time. Business reviews are important for the organization, the client, both A and B, or none of the above. The answer is both the organization and the client, C. Who is likely to facilitate a QBR meeting from the customer's side? Would this be A, success managers, B, HR managers, C, accountants, or D, none of the above? The answer is A, success managers. And in what duration of time should one consider a QBR? In other words, how frequently should you hold a QBR? Is that every 60 days, every 30 days, every 90 days, or every 120 days? Just like the term suggests, every 90 days or every 3 months is a good duration of time to consider holding a QBR. Which of the following is not a benefit of QBR? A, they allow you the opportunity to highlight the ROI of your product. B, they foster relationships between your executives and your customers' executives. C, they provide feedback about your business. Or D, none of the above. The answer is C, they provide feedback about your business. QBRs are typically effective when executives from both sides, yours and your customers, are present. Is this true or false? This is true. Thank you.